My first look at the running back position for week 11 starts right now. What's up, guys? Welcome to another first look. Do me a favor, if you want to become a profitable DFS player and get better at betting, start now by subscribing to the channel, but make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything along the way. All right, running back position for week 11. Always want to remind you guys, I know we have some people watching this on Twitch live, twitch.tv/Joe Holka. We do this every single Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're watching this on YouTube later, be sure and check that out. Always want to remind you guys too, if you have an Amazon Prime account, make sure you're taking advantage of that free Twitch subscription. This is a data sheet that I make available to all my Twitch subscribers each and every week. This is the first look, of course. This kind of fills out a little bit as we go throughout the week. So one of the things that everyone seems to want to kind of talk about, Christian McCaffrey every single week, 10-5. Last week, I'm always an advocate for paying out for this guy. You guys know that. If you've seen any of my videos, like, you know that this is a guy that I'm strongly considering in most weeks. Last week, I think that how tight pricing was, it made a little bit more sense if you did want to go with the fade for him. So I think that if you ended up not playing Christian McCaffrey last week, I'm not going to completely berate you, I guess. But he did kind of, I don't know, is 30 points his floor right now? It's really kind of hard to tell at this point, but we'll see. So 10-5, it's all going to kind of compare to what the wide receiver value is like. But again, against Atlanta, could we think of a better spot for the best pass catching running back in the league, maybe the best overall running back? If we're just looking at the matchup against Atlanta, we know how to attack them. It's in the short area of the field, 32nd in the entire league at defending short passes. They've been a little bit better against running backs in particular through the air, but I still think the short area of the field is what we want to focus on with someone like Christian McCaffrey. So at 10-5, he would be a pretty big priority for me. No shocker, not shocking there. Dalvin Cook at 8,900. So I seem to just miss on the Dalvin Cook thing almost so anytime Dalvin Cook's not on the main slate, I feel like he just goes nuts. So people kind of just like see these big plays. They see how involved he is through the passing game. And then he's on the main slate, and we get to see a bunch of Madison. We see a bunch of we get to see an Amir Abdullah touchdown out of nowhere. We see Irv Smith targets out of the backfield. It's just like the most tilting thing ever to play this guy. But he is still getting a decent amount of work. Like, you can't deny that. Even if he's not seeing Christian McCaffrey type of volume, I've got him projected pretty close this week, believe it or not. Might have to bump up the CMC number a little bit. The thing that always stands out to me about Dalvin Cook is total yards from scrimmage. So over the last 4 games, that's a really nice efficiency stat to look at. Just total yards from scrimmage over the last 4 games. Dalvin Cook actually is ahead of Christian McCaffrey in that regard. The matchup against Denver isn't quite as strong. Denver 9th against the run, 7th against running backs in the passing game. But again, matchup at running back is definitely one of the last things that I would put weight into. I think that if you really wanted to kind of attack volume in this spot, he's fine. 8,900, totally fine. What stands out to me, and I'm already upset just already at myself, but Leonard Fournette, 7,900. Indy can be beat on the ground, below average team, but they've been very strong at defending running backs in the passing game. It's just really hard to look at this type of volume and look at the price, and his price is this way because he's not scoring touchdowns. So at what point does Fournette just have that game where the regression, I guess, hits in a positive way, and we just get there with them? I think that the volume shapes up to be really strong. Not a great total. We do have Nick Foles back, which is interesting. At Indy, probably not the best spot, but tight spread, so that's good. Hopefully a little bit more back and forth in this game, and they just ride Fournette a little bit. I could see that happening for sure. Someone in the chat is asking about Zeke. Yeah, so Zeke at 9K. I think everyone just kind of sees Zeke like on one of the main games, one of the primetime games, and just he hasn't done a ton lately. The 9K price tag just seems a little bit expensive to me, and maybe that's just just kind of a result of what we've seen from him so far. The touches, I don't know if he has as safe of touches as someone like Dalvin Cook or Leonard Fournette. Certainly not in Christian McCaffrey's range as far as touches, in my opinion. But I mean, the matchup against Detroit, it is pretty strong in comparison to someone like Dalvin Cook against Denver. So I think that's something we should keep in mind. They're a road favorite here. Again, if Matt Stafford isn't in this game, which I'm sure it's looking like he probably will be out again. I could see them just kind of leaning on Zeke a little bit. But we thought the same thing last week with Montgomery against this Detroit team. So we'll see. I do think that Zeke at 9K, he's going to stand out from a volume perspective. Is he the best like value type of play on the slate? Probably not. I think that still like Fournette and Cook are the ones that stand out to me as being like a little bit underpriced for their volume. Josh Jacobs at 6,900. That's the one that really stands out to me on the ground. I just wish there was a little bit of more involvement through the air. But at that price, I think that that's going to be a route that people go this week, especially against Cincinnati, who just hasn't really shown, I guess, a willingness to try a ton to keep these games close. Like I think that last week was just crazy. Has anyone ever seen like a team that was behind basically from start to finish just run the ball so much in a game? It was pretty crazy. Yeah, someone in the chat saying that Zeke just doesn't have a ton of ceiling. I'm with you. It is a good matchup though. Someone else in the chat's mentioned about the matchup. I think it's if you care about that sort of thing, that's where you would be kind of led to Zeke. But if you want to keep it extremely like kind of elementary, like trying to find these home favorite running backs is still incredibly important. Larger totals, like it's stuff that matters for sure. If you're just looking at the volume side of it, yeah, I think that that's where you kind of get your floor and probably your ceiling. But I do think that like matchup overall, I care a lot more about some of these other identifiers for sure. So the matchup alone wouldn't lead me to Zeke, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Kind of working our way down here. Marlin Mac at 6,400 against Jacksonville, a team that can be run on below average in that regard. These numbers scare me, guys. I guess these non-pass catching guys like last week, Henry goes nuts, Chubb goes nuts. These guys that have, I guess, not as much work through the air, those are always going to be ones that I struggle with personally. The price, I think, makes more sense for Josh Jacobs just because I think that there's a chance that he does have one of the higher touchdown expectations on the slate with that total against Cincinnati. So definitely prefer Jacobs to Marlon Mack at first glance here. 9K, he's not putting up CMC numbers. Oh, talking about Zeke. Yeah, I'm with you. At some point, maybe Zeke just goes nuts. I think he shapes up as a decent tournament play. But I still think that if you're paying up there, it's probably still Cook or McCaffrey for me. Marlon Mack, someone's saying he might be sneaky. Maybe if sneaky is just like trying to attack these guys that don't catch passes, maybe he'll just have a Ronald Jones game and just catch 8 balls out of nowhere. That would not be great. Steve's lock buttoning Fournette. Yeah, man. At some point, we're just gonna get that double dong from Fournette. Hopefully, he seems like the guy that's severely mispriced at the top for sure. As far as guys that might be a little bit too expensive, Alvin Kamara at 7,400. I don't think anyone's really going to go there against Tampa Bay, so I don't really mean that by any means. I guess there hasn't been that like game-breaking ceiling from Kamara, like where he just bounces off of some guys, kind of shows that like kind of unique balance that he has, and starts to kind of break off some big plays in space. We just haven't seen it this year. The total's nice. I'm with you. I just think that 7,400 for him, if he doesn't break one of those big plays and get in the end zone, it's tough to meet value at this type of usage as far as his volume is concerned. So like the Aaron Jones type play where, yeah, maybe you hit that ceiling game, but chasing it, you might go broke chasing the Alvin Kamara ceiling game. Someone in the chat's mentioned that he's clearly hurt. Yeah, he might be. That's what I mean. That's what I mean by we haven't seen like kind of what we have kind of become accustomed to with Kamara in the past. We just haven't seen it a lot this year. So interesting for sure. Steve's saying that Zeke's better on FanDuel. Yeah, I mean the touchdown kind of site. I think that makes a lot of sense, man. Joe Mixon at 5,500. We were talking about that, I guess, earlier. Again, like trying to put your hopes and dreams into a Cincinnati running back seems bad, but it could work out. I think I'm on the Oakland side of this game for sure. Pat Bain, what's up, man? Thanks for the 5 gifted subs. If you just got gifted a sub by Pat Bain, make sure you guys thank him in the chat. 78 people watching this live. Again, the path to partner. So I appreciate you guys being here on a Tuesday. Make sure that you thank Pat in the chat if you just got one of those gifted subs. Appreciate you, man. So Balaj is someone that I've heard a little bit of early talk about, probably just because we need value. Like on this slate so far, I don't see a lot of guys that are just really popping as like elite values by any means. So Balaj, someone that I don't think I've ever played, but 4,300. If you are projecting him to get the good majority of the work against Buffalo, a team that the matchup will tell you is below average against the run. The the season-long people are probably maybe inflating this number a little bit, that wanted Balaj to kind of be one of their cornerstone pieces. I'm not so much on that. I think if I'm going to go pay down, it's going to be for Brian Hill. 4,800 on DraftKings, 5,900 on FanDuel. I think that this is a guy that has at least shown decent usage through the air, or at least proficiency through the air. I don't know if he's quite as good of a pass catcher as Devonta Freeman. His Carolina matchup, we know we can run on Carolina, right? Worst team in the league against the run as far as DVOA is concerned. So I think Brian Hill is going to end up being the chalk just at this price. This just seems like the play that everyone's going to cling to. I could probably bump up his projection a little bit and still prefer some of these other guys we've talked about for more expensive. Do you guys think that Brian Hill is going to be super chalky at 4,800? That's kind of my initial lean. Davin says, anyone playing Balaj can send me as expensive as head-to-head as you want. I think you might have a taker in my YouTube comments, man. Go find my video from earlier in the week when I walked through my review in the 1,500. You'll find someone. Might only be a $5 head-to-head, though. Ronald Jones again, only 400 more. Let's look at Ronald Jones. I mean, I'm the first one to say that I was dead wrong about this guy, his usage through the air. Maybe it was a little bit of an outlier, 5,200 against New Orleans, okay. Again, I said the same thing last week. I'm not actively trying to attack New Orleans. I think I have a lot of respect for that defense in general. Yeah, I don't hate the play. 5,200. Again, like, this is red for a reason, guys. I rarely play these guys. Like, I'm being completely transparent here. I rarely play any of these guys unless the slate dictates it. And maybe this is a slate where we're going to have to mess around down there. For me, I just feel a lot more confident playing guys like Leonard Fournette at 7,900 and just taking the savings there. New shiny toy, definite chalk. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that he will be for sure. James White. Man, I can't remember the last time I played a running back from the Patriots. 5,400. Yeah, I can't play this guy, man. I'm sorry. Can't do it. Season long, I think he's a guy that almost always kind of makes some sense. I just really can't make it. Can't make it there in DFS. Devin Singletary, is this just like the post-hype week for him? I know some people were on him last week. There was no chance I was playing him at his current projection, but someone that is very talented, is used through the air against Miami. I think the Singletary play might actually make a little bit more sense this week than it did last week. I know that he's priced up a little bit more, but if we're just looking for a guy at lower ownership, he could be a guy that has some upside at least, and a great matchup against Miami, of course. So, Carlos Hyde at 4,600. I probably won't be there for that one. But if you're just trying to get exposure to this Houston and Baltimore game, which I think is going to draw a ton of ownership, that could be a play. Let's ask this in the chat. What price would Christian McCaffrey have to be at home versus Atlanta for you not to be interested in? If you want to learn more about how to be a profitable DFS player, start now by hitting the subscribe icon in the bottom right-hand corner so you don't miss anything. Be on the lookout for all of my content throughout the week, starting with these videos right here. But I do go live each and every Sunday morning at 11:30 Eastern time on Twitch. Come hang out with us. You won't regret it.